Hello, Spanglish generation. ¿Qué día es hoy? What day is today? Bueno, today is Wednesday. Wednesday, April 19th. Welcome to this week's live. Bueno, today we're going to cover a topic that is in the news quite a bit. Les prometo que voy a hacer un videito en español, ya sea en TikTok o de otra forma, para poder explicar esto en español. However, I did a poll and, the people spoke and they said they wanted this video in English or Spanglish, como sabemos nosotros hacer las cosas aquí. So, without further ado, let's get started. Please let me know if you can hear me. Si hay problemas con el sonido, make me aware because yo estoy aquí with a new microphone. Bueno, no es nuevo. I never use it, pero I decided to use it today, so estoy testing el micrófono. Okay. So, why do we want to talk about these topics? First of all, vamos a hablar de unos bills that are in Washington y uno en California. Two of them in Washington, one in California. And we're talking about these because these are the ones that have become trending en la noticia. Thank you, Barbie. Se escucha bien. Seguimos. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? A lot of people say, bueno, pero why should I care about what happens in Washington? Si yo no vivo en Washington, yo no vivo en California, I live in Florida. Y Florida es red wave. A mí no me importa lo que pasa en otro lado. Well, you know what? Florida may be red wave now, pero tú no sabes cómo va a ser mañana. And if we keep ignoring the issues that are trending, and these are not just trending porque son, ay, de moda, no, these are deep issues that are trending. If we keep ignoring them, ¿qué va a pasar en el futuro? You don't know what's going to happen. Gracias, Ibis. Un beso, mi amor. Qué linda. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? En el futuro, estos son situaciones que nos pueden afectar. This is a conversation that is gaining more and more attention nationwide, worldwide, for that matter. And if you're a parent, como yo, que soy madre, we need to be paying attention to these topics. And a lot of you know my stance on being conservative versus liberal versus conservative. I'm too liberal for the conservatives. I'm too conservative for the liberals. Y yo veo, because I grew up around a lot of conservatives, that conservatives, a lot of the time, want to live in a certain bubble where they are not bothered by the mundane. Las cosas del mundo. No, yo no tengo que ver con eso. No, pero si yo no creo en eso es allá, la gente allá y yo aquí y todo el mundo en su espacio. Y mientras tanto, the world keeps going and agendas keep moving on a lot of spaces, and look where we are now. Bueno, mira dónde estamos ahora, que our girls tienen que compartir los baños con hombres que de pronto identify as women, because this is not about trans people, my friends. We've known travestis, we've known transgenders, we've known members of the LGBTQ plus I community. Y yo digo, you know what? They keep adding letters to it as if a letter was going to make people feel more included. A letter is not inclusive. Inclusive es la actitud. And what I see with this community, the LGBTQ plus, vamos a dejarlo en LGBTQ, que es how I feel comfortable saying it, porque el resto es un trabalengua. What I see is that they are actually excluding. Instead of being inclusive, they're being exclusive. Miley, welcome, mi amor. Thanks for doing this video. You're most welcome. Thank you guys for being here. Entonces, ¿qué pasa? We've known members of the LGBTQ community forever. He tenido amigos, familiares que son homosexuales, bisexuales, travestis. y un que otro transgénero también. Nunca hemos tenido problema con ellos. Todo el mundo ha vivido su vida. But now this goes beyond trans people. Because the people who are actually pushing this, a lot of them aren't even members of the LGBTQ plus community. They're as straight as, vaya. Yet they're pushing an ideology. And the danger about pushing an ideology is that a lot of these activists, who again are not really even members of the LGBTQ plus community, they claim to be allies, y lo que están haciendo es taking a community and running with a narrative, using the community to push a gender ideology agenda on especially the children. These bills that came out talk about parental rights. And see, things are starting, in my perspective, in my opinion, to go too far. Things are starting to go too far. Y yo no quiero alargarme mucho. We're going to get right into it. But I want you to know that if you are a mom, if you are a dad of a trans kid or a kid who's straight, who cares? If you are a parent, you need to be paying attention. Even if you think these things don't relate to your children are not living in little islands in the world, okay? Los niños, tus hijos, los míos, viven en un mundo rodeado de personas. Otras personas con otros beliefs. We have to know what's out there. We have to know que no, es muy probable que nuestros hijos vengan a la casa diciendo, mi amiguito se identifica como tal cosa. And he said he's a furry. Hello. Hay niños allá afuera identificándose como furries, como animales, que se lamen. And there's a group of people that is protecting this behavior and calling it being yourself. No, let's not raise any flags. It's okay que un niño se lama la mano y diga que es un gato. We have to applaud it y dejar que maulle ahí in the side of the classroom en una esquinita. Because we need to support, we need to affirm. That's the latest word, affirm the behavior. We're seeing a lot of gender affirming terapistas. ¿Cuándo un terapista en la vida? ¿Cuándo un terapista en la vida ha sido entrenado para afirmar lo que un paciente va a un terapista para tratar de buscar respuestas, para encontrar maneras de lidiar con depresión, ansiedad, diferentes circunstancias emocionales, mentales? El día que me pase eso será el último día de homeschooling. Barbie, ¿tú sabes qué? Te vas a sorprender. Mi niña va a una escuela cristiana. Y aparte de las cosas que ha pasado en la escuela cristiana, que no tengo ninguna queja, ¿no? Pero los muchachos vienen de casa, ¿entiendes? Ella me ha venido a decir cosas de amiguitas con las cuales he hablado en un playground. En un playground. Quiere decir que en un momento que se le lleva a jugar a un playground, donde hay más niños, donde hay un grupo de niños, en alguno de esos momentos tuvieron una conversación en la cual salió a relucir que una niña estaba empezando a vestirse como varón because she feels more masculine lately. Estoy hablando de niñas de 11 años. La niñita de la cual ella está hablando, de la que mi hija se refirió, tiene 9 años. No es amiguita de su círculo, pero es una niña que conoció en el playground ese día. En un minutito. Tuvieron una conversación, un grupo de niños, en un minutito que estaban en un playground. Por eso digo que nuestros hijos no son islas. Y aunque tengamos a nuestros hijos en una escuela que comparte nuestros beliefs, en la casa, porque creemos que es la mejor manera, en cualquier momento pueden estar expuestos a este tipo de narrative. Y por eso es que tenemos que nosotros seguir estando informados. Because if not, nos cogen de sorpresa. No es que a nuestros hijos les vaya a pasar, vayan a pasar nada, pero son influenciados por ideologías que después quieren hacer que vean las cosas como normal, las cosas que no están bien como normal. Y no me estoy refiriendo a no estar bien a una persona trans. Una persona trans es una persona que tiene una condición mental y tiene que ser tratada y tiene que ser evaluada y tiene que ser seguida, right? Pero estamos hablando que la mayor parte de las personas que son diagnosticados como transgénero en realidad no son transgénero. Son personas que tienen problemas emocionales, tienen depresión, tienen algún tipo de desorden que tiene que ver con body dysmorphia, pero que viene más allá, más profundo. No es que sean transgénero, va más profundo en lo que es la emoción, en lo que es la situación psíquica. ¿Ok? Y los están diagnosticando así como transgénero. Le están diciendo, no, tú lo que tienes es, maybe you're a girl, maybe you're a boy, and that's why your dilemma. Y eso es lo que está empujando a muchos jóvenes. A ver, dice, esta es la razón que estoy pensando que homeschool va a ser el futuro para mis hijos. I agree que muchos padres están tomando esa ruta y yo lo aplaudo. Yo lo aplaudo. If you can do it, do it. La verdad. Pero remember que ellos están expuestos a otros niños y a otros ambientes en el televisor, en el supermercado, en cualquier lado, en la misma iglesia. Están hablando con niños que vienen de casas donde tú no sabes lo que está pasando, que vienen de niños que van a otras escuelas y vienen con historias, vienen con ideas. So we have to keep in mind that we always have to be, ¿me entiendes? Ojos, eyes and ears. Sí, ya no están a salvo, está claro, mucha plática con los niños, definitivamente. We have to keep talking to them. Y están, mira, más que hablando también, mira, escuchando, ¿qué están haciendo? Nunca vamos a poder abarcar todo, but the least we can do is try. And that's why we're here. Let's get informed about these bills. The headline reads as follows. Vamos a ver. The headline says lo siguiente. Dice, Washington Bill Parental Rights. Lo busqué aquí. Y mira, ya ustedes han visto los headlines porque muchos de ustedes have sent this to me on Instagram, okay? Washington Bill to allow medical transgender interventions on minors without parental consent. WA Bill, Washington Bill, let shelters house runaway trans kids without notifying parents. Senate bill would allow transgender medical procedures for minors without parental consent. Entonces, you see those headlines y definitivamente those headlines are alarming. Te pones a pensar y tú dices, espérate. What are you talking about? ¿Qué tú me vas a decir a mí? That you're going to let a minor consent to their own gender affirm. ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Qué está pasando? So a lot of other headlines said que el Estado could take away your children if you don't agree with them being transgender or them being part of the LGBTQ plus community. So is this all true? Because también uno tiene que evaluar las cosas. You can't go por lo que te dicen los news, ni los conservadores ni los liberales. Because los liberales dicen, ¡ay, por fin! Igualdad y respeto para los niños trans. Trans rights are human rights, yes. Y los conservadores te están diciendo, te quieren quitar a tus hijos. Corre. So, is this true? Let's see where the truth lies. Si en un lado o en el otro, or somewhere in the middle. That's why I always encourage you to take a look por ti mismo. The links to all the bills we're going to discuss, que we're not going to discuss them in extra detail porque son muy largos, pero this is just por encimita. Vaga aclaración, disclaimer. I am not a lawyer. I am not a counsel. Yo soy una mamá. ¿Ok? Una mamá que le interesa conocer más. Primero, una persona que le interesa conocer y segundo, una mamá que tiene children en este mundo and I want to know more. And I want to be able to share the information that I find with you. So, with that being said, yo no soy ni legisladora, yo no soy senadora, yo no soy política. I'm none of that. And I'm not an expert. So, if at some point you see that I interpret something in a way that is incorrect or that you perceive maybe, could be interpreted a different way, I truly appreciate you writing to me and letting me know, or in the comment section, we can have these discussions because yo no soy perfecta and I could definitely miss something. Pero bueno, vamos a ir a lo que está pasando. El primer bill que salió, el headline fue Bill 5599. So let's put this one here and let me show yes, okay, so we're sharing that. Vamos a ver. Bill 5599 is del estado de Washington. Todavía no es una ley, ¿ok? It's not a law todavía, pero it gives us an idea de lo que está empezando esta gente, ¿ok? This bill is geared to the runaway youth que son pertenecientes del LGBTQ plus community, mainly. This is to protect the youth que pertenece al LGBT community. Dice, and I have it there for you to read. Except as provided in B, acuérdense que estos son términos legales, so let's go por lo que nosotros podamos entender. Any person on licensed youth shelter or runaway homeless youth program that would without legal authorization provide shelter to a minor and that knows at the time of providing the shelter that the minor is away from a lawfully prescribed residence, o sea, su casa or home without parental permission, shall promptly report the location of the child to the parent, the law enforcement agency, or the jurisdiction in which the person lives, or the department, unless a compelling reason applies as defined in subsection 2 of this section. O sea, te dice, rápido, te está diciendo, si tú encuentras, si un shelter, llega un niño, en este momento, el shelter tiene la obligación de inmediatamente reportarlo a los padres. That's what the bill is saying. Unless there are compelling reasons. Entonces, vamos a ver what those compelling reasons could be. Yo se los dejo aquí. We're not going to go through. Ustedes tienen aquí toda la información. If you have time, léanlo. Eso ya es on you to go into the detail. Dice, compelling reasons include, but are not limited to, okay? Y ahí vamos a ver los compelling reasons. When a minor is seeking or receiving protected healthcare services. La primera es circumstances that indicate that notifying the parent or legal guardian will subject the minor to abuse or neglect as defined in RW whatever, okay? So, if they define, no sé, que tiene que tener un cuestionario, I am assuming tiene que tener una forma de definir that the child will be subject to abuse or neglect at home, entonces that's one of the compelling reasons why they would notify the parents. And that makes sense. Si es un niño que tiene una historia que lo han abusado en la casa, there has to be, ¿me entiendes? Proof, I'm assuming, ¿no? Lo lógico, aunque en este mundo ya no tiene lógica. And the second one is when a minor is seeking or receiving protected health care services. And you say, bueno, pero los niños hay que protegerlos. If they're running away, no los vamos a dejar en la calle. Of course not. So we have to protect them. And if they're seeking protected health care services, mira la terminología que usan. We have to help them, right? Bueno, let's look at this. Protected health care services has the same meaning as provided in chapter no sé qué, the bill number 5489. So we're going to go to bill 5489 and we're going to see a qué se refiere cuando está hablando de protected health care services, okay? State of Washington, bill 5489. Este es de enero 2023. And I'm going to, let's find on this page because here we go. El otro bill dice that if the child comes into a shelter, run away, and comes into a facility, y te dicen, no, we can't notify the parents porque el niño en la casa suffers abuse or neglect. Bueno, maybe the child is not suffering abuse or neglect, pero el niño dice, I'm transgender and my mom believes that I'm making a mistake and I want to turn myself into the opposite gender. Mira lo que dice aquí. Protected healthcare services, porque ese niño que dice yo soy transgénero o quiero un aborto, tengo 13 años, I want an abortion. O tengo 13 años, quiero ser varón, pero soy hembra. En el estado de Washington, ese niño está buscando protected healthcare services. Y el estado de Washington define protected healthcare services as protected healthcare services means gender-affirming treatment and reproductive healthcare services that are lawful in the state of Washington. Repito, un niño puede ir a un shelter y decir, mi mamá no está de acuerdo con que yo sea transgender. El estado de Washington automatically says, bueno, este niño, esta niña is looking for protected healthcare services, and protected healthcare services in Washington means gender-affirming treatment and reproductive healthcare services that are lawful in the state of Washington. Mira, seguimos. Reproductive healthcare services means all services, care, or products of medical, surgical, psychiatric, therapeutic, mental health, behavioral health, diagnostic, preventive, rehabilitative, supportive, counseling, referral, prescribing, or dispensing nature relating to the human reproductive system, including, but not limited to, all services, care and products relating to pregnancy, assisted reproduction, contraception, miscarriage management, or the termination of a pregnancy, including self-managed terminations. Veo, yo me caigo para atrás. I hope you're following me. I hope I'm not boring you. Porque la verdad que esto, vamos a parar ahí un momentico. ¿Desde cuándo un padre that is concerned about a minor who expresses mental distress, since when does the state need to hide what's going on with that child? Since when? Si una niña de 13 años es violada por su papá, por su hermano, that lives in the home, I agree that it is a conflict if she goes into a shelter to call her home because she's been raped by people in that home. So she's experiencing abuse and neglect at home. Pero si una niña tiene un noviecito y mete la pata, which happens, y a los 3 añitos becomes pregnant, y va a un shelter y dice, I just don't want to tell my mom because I don't want her to know because I don't know how she may react because she's fearful. Why does the state have the right, or why does the state want the right to hide that from the mother? Bueno. It's very serious. It's dead serious. It's dead serious. And yo no entiendo, o sí entiendo, why this is happening. The states quieren de alguna manera disfrazar el cuidar a los niños como embolden children to make decisions without their parents' knowledge. Hay una intención de desligar ese parental, no consent, esa fuerza que tiene que tener un padre. It's a power dynamic. It really is. Pero ese poder que tiene que tener un padre, una madre, estos bills atentan contra eso, contra el poder que tiene por naturaleza un padre y una madre to protect the child. If a child comes and says, Mommy, I believe that, tú sabes, no sé, yo no me siento bien con mi cuerpo. I don't like mi tetica. I think I'm a boy. I want to stop my puberty because I want to make sure that I'm the right gender. Y la mamá le dice, wait, hold on, espérate. No. You don't need to be changing anything. Let's go and get you evaluada. Let's get you evaluated. Vamos a ver where this is coming from and what solution we can find. Automatically, that mother is not affirming. That mother wants questions. And people here that are pushing these agendas and these bills are not interested in answering any questions. They're interested in offering one solution: affirm the child, period. No, because the children have higher rate and higher possibility of suicide. Really? You're telling me that taking the premature action of performing surgery on a child to transition them, or forget surgery, to give them hormones, you think that in the future, when they realize what they've done and that they did it while they were young and nobody stopped them, don't you think that's going to propel the suicide rate? We don't have enough data to know if this is going to provoke more suicides. We don't have any data because we've been seeing this locura por muy corto tiempo. We haven't been at this for 30 years. We don't know. Pero bueno, yet they're still scaring parents and telling them que sí, you have to help. You have to help your daughter. You have to help her. She may kill herself. And it's driving parents to support out of fear, support something that's actually harming their children even more. Let's see here, porque aquí hay un bill que yo vi también en California. Let's share this one because I don't want to take too much longer, pero bueno. This bill is from California, Assembly Bill. Vamos a compartir esto instead. Let me see. Can we see it there? Yes, we can. Okay. Assembly Bill number 665. Marley actually sent this one to me. And Assembly Bill is basically, mira cuando salieron todos estos bills, 2023. Espérate, look when these bills came out. Look at all these bills. 2023, mira el otro. Let's go up. 2023. Esto es ahora. O sea, la ideología viene, pero they're trying to legalizar todo esto ahora y legislar ahora all at once. California. Dice. Assembly Bill 665, as introduced, Wendy Carrillo, imagínate tú, Latinx. Minors consent to health services. Minors consent to health services. Y cuando nosotros vemos el bill, está específicamente talking about LGBTQ+. And it's talking about, el bill lo presenta, we're going to protect them. We want to protect them. We want to protect the youth, the runaway youth. We can't leave them on the streets. And I agree, we can't leave them on the streets. Pero again, this talks about giving minors the right to consent. Let's look at this. Dice, a minor who is 12 years of age or older may consent to mental health treatment or counseling on an outpatient basis or residential shelter-based services. So puede estar en un shelter receiving services without consent from these affirming people, affirming therapists, no? The minor, in the opinion of the attending professional person, is mature enough to participate intelligently in the outpatient services or residential services, shelter services. Uno nunca sabe lo que va a pasar con un hijo de uno. Your child may not be transgender, but you don't know what's going to happen to your child tomorrow. And if these bills continue to gain traction, and if this train of thought from states continue to gain traction, it's only going to be a matter of time before it gets over to our state, depending on how people vote here and there. I say our state because I'm in Florida. I don't know where you are. You may be in one of these states or any other state. But why do we need to be aware? Because this is becoming more popular. And it's not going to stop. And if we get sidetracked before you know it, there are a lot more things that are going to be included here. It starts with, oh, we're going to protect the LGBTQ plus youth. Let's give them free reign to do whatever. And let's not tell mom and dad, because mom and dad, they don't understand, and they may interfere with what their children want to do, with their happiness, with their fulfillment. Does this make sense to you? No, sir. We are experiencing something that's never been seen before. It's scary. Children are really under attack. And a lot of people will see people like me and say, this is transphobic rhetoric. And I'm not scared of trans people. There's nothing to be scared about. Nothing to be scared of. We've had trans people amongst us our whole lives. But this ideology is very frightening because it's pushing something onto people that otherwise would have never thought or would otherwise naturally overcome. What they're doing is taking a vulnerable segment of the population, which are minors, who may have some mental distress, and attacking that. And not only attacking that and making it even more vulnerable, but it's taking them away and emboldening the separation from the only thing that could represent some hope, which is their family, their parents. They're putting parents who won't agree with gender affirming care on the same level as parents who abuse and neglect their children. When in fact, it's completely the opposite. Of course, there are parents out there who abuse and neglect their children because they came out of the closet or because they said they were trans. Yes, we know that exists. But the vast majority of parents want to help their children and want to help them through, and don't want to see their children make decisions that they're going to regret in the future, that are going to affect their fertility, their mental health in the future. Most parents don't want to see their children on hormones for the rest of their lives, fighting against a gender that goes against their biology if they don't strictly necessarily have to. The trans community has one of the highest suicide rates, and it's not immediately after the transition. It happens years after, a few years, I believe it's 7 years after the transition, where suicide rate is highest. Well, shouldn't they be the happiest because they transitioned and they're finally there? They made it to the gender they wanted? See, because we're being told a lie. I'm not saying there aren't transitioners that are happy. Yes, there are. There's everything out here, okay? And there's got to be everything, a little bit of everything. But there are a lot of people suffering, and there's a dark side that they're not telling us. And these states want to jump and allow children to make decisions about abortion, about transitioning, and allowing them to stay in facilities, shelters, making them even more dependent of the state. So están creando una generación de gente dependiente, because who's going to pay for this? Who's going to pay for this gender affirming healthcare, protected healthcare situation? Dime. It's not mom's insurance, because your mom doesn't know where her child is. La mamá se puede estar muriendo de la angustia because her daughter, who said was a boy, ran away from home, and nobody's telling her where her daughter is, because her daughter decided she doesn't want to hear what mom has to say because mom wants her to think it through. But at 16, she thinks she's got it all figured out. And the system agrees that at 16, she's got it all figured out and that mom shouldn't know anything about anything. How does this make sense? So no, it doesn't state that the state can take away your children, but it could definitely keep them from you. if your child wants to, I'm pretty sure a lot of these kids don't even know what they're getting themselves into. It's a damn shame. It is a damn shame. And this is happening around us. Minors are being emboldened to take the reins of their own healthcare. Sí, porque sí. Because you should know. You should know exactly what you want at 11 or 12. You should know. And while you figure it out, let's give you some hormones. Let's give you some puberty blockers. While you figure it out. I am saddened by all of it. I'm saddened because there are people in legislation that push this. And like I was watching Matt Walsh the other day talk in Tennessee to a group of Democrat representatives, and he asked one of them, well, do you think it's okay? I'm paraphrasing. Do you think it's okay for someone who's 16 to chop their body parts off? Nobody had anything to say. Oh, no. We ask the questions. You don't ask the questions here. We ask the questions. No more questions. And that was that. Qué lástima. I hope that I gave you a little bit more perspective of what's going on. Yes, this is scary. No, they're not coming in your home and taking your child, and Child Protective Services is not ripping your children away from you if this is the case. But if your child does run away and happen to seek a facility, though they should tell you, they don't have to. If your child says, no, I need protective health care, or no, I just don't want mom to know because I don't know how mom may react. And the state can definitely keep your child from you. And that's a scary place to be. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support, you guys. I can't begin to tell you how important it is for me to have this time with you and to have you interact, to have you share the stuff with me. That's why I do these videos, because you share all the information with me and then we come up with topics that we all should, be aware of. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time. Bendiciones.